This is Alice Botti, and my husband and I have been members here for over 40 years. And Pastor Marty asked me if I would share this devotional with you. Just as the country is struggling with the effects of the coronavirus, so do families have times of difficulty and challenges to their faith. And the most significant one for our family started quite a few years ago, but with that awful middle-of-the-night phone call that no parent wants to receive. And it was a hospital calling, and the nurse said, "There's been an accident, and we need for you to come to the hospital as soon as you can." So we went down, and we met with the doctor, who explained that our son Steve had been in a motorcycle accident. He had suffered a closed head injury and was as low on the coma scale as a person can be and still be alive. He said they had made already arrangements to transfer him to Kalamazoo to Borges Hospital, and they were doing that by airlift. And he said he rather doubted he'd make the trip, survive it at least, but when the time came to get him loaded on the helicopter, he came in and asked if we wanted to come and say goodbye to him. And I really thought that's what we were doing. I thought this was a final goodbye. Well, someone else had called Pastor Larry Irvine, and he came to the hospital, offered to drive us to Kalamazoo, which we did. And on the way, as we were driving, I was praying and shaking and praying and trembling, and I just could not calm down. I couldn't not shake. And somewhere in that trip, the words, "It'll be all right," came to me. And suddenly the shaking stopped, and I felt a whole lot more calm. And so I didn't really relax, but I felt a little better. When we got to Kalamazoo, we found that Steve had survived the trip and was being admitted there. And they're equipped to deal with patients with this kind of injury. Well, this happened in the middle of June, and my job with the school district, my summer break had started just days before the accident, and I had the entire summer off, which was good because Steve was in the hospital there until right around Labor Day weekend, when they made arrangements to transfer him to a rehab facility in Grand Rapids. Once that transfer was made, Bill and I made the decision that we would each take an evening a week after work and go up and spend some time with him, and then we'd both go on Sundays to visit. And on those drives, it takes us about an hour and a half, and I did most of it alone, so I had a lot of time to think and a lot of time to pray, and off and on different words and phrases and scripture references would come to mind, and I started writing them down to kind of keep track, because they were comforting and it seemed to ease the travel a little bit. So at some point I put it together into a sort of a poem, and it has comforted me. It did then, and it continues to do that now, and I'd like to recite that for you. And I called it, "It'll Be All Right." When everything seems so very dark and I can't find my way, I go to you in prayer and I hear your calm voice say, "Stay close and listen to me, and it'll be all right." You never made a promise that I wouldn't suffer pain or that my days would always be made bright. But you said you'd stay beside me and victory I'd gain, and promised I'll stand with you and it'll be all right. Relying on your presence and the promises you've made, I reach out in faith and hold on tight. Though there are times I weaken and my strength begins to fade, your voice comes clearly to me. I'm here and it's all right. I was there at the beginning and I'll be there to the end. Just trust in me to be your guiding light. I'll teach you when to stand up straight and when you need to bend, and everything will be all right. It'll be all right. I found this other quote from the devotional book, Streams in the Desert, and she wrote, "Jesus Christ is no security against storms, but he is perfect security in storms. He's never promised us an easy passage, only a safe landing." Amen.